I'm not exactly sure if you celebrate or if you don't, but either way, it's officially Christmas Eve, so we're going to talk a little Monday Night Raw, actually, the Christmas edition of Raw. And normally, the Christmas edition or the holiday edition of a wrestling program is full of a lot of gaga. And no, Otto, I'm not talking about Lady Gaga. I'm talking about just, like, thrown together, like, comedy segments. Not heavy on action. This one, there was a lot of thrown together matches, but two really great matches, two really great six-man matches that bookended the show. In essence, basically. One was the main event of the first hour, excuse me, and one was the main event of the third hour, I believe. So, before we get talking about Raw, I do want to throw out a little bit of housekeeping. Number one, I just got McDonald's nuggets that are brought by my mother like a few seconds ago, so I'm going to eat those after this recap's over. So, yay! Gives me a reason to rush, but I'm not going to rush, don't worry. I'm going to try to get through everything as quick as I can, but as efficiently as I can as well. So, here's the deal. Last night, we watched Dallas Buyers Club in Philomena, and the recap will go up on Friday. Now, they will be tacked on to the Friday review, which will be finally recapping The Wolf of Wall Street, 47 Ronin Grudge Match, as well as The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. These are all movies we're going to be watching in the next few days. Literally in the next 2 days. Excuse me. I go to work in about 3 hours. That's a shoot. And I'm working for about 6 hours. I'll come back here, and then I just want to relax and play WWE 2K14, try to use Fandango to beat The Undertaker's streak like I have been the last day or so. And that's what I want to do tonight. So I want to get this video out to you guys early in hopes that you can watch this before you open presents or before you go out very last minute holiday shopping. I know you guys and girls are out there. You still haven't done all your Christmas shopping yet. I know because I work around the mall. Technically we're in the mall, but we're not a part of the mall, if that makes any sense at all. So since we're in the mall, technically, I see that you guys are still buying presents to this day, and it is Christmas Eve, and they'll still be buying presents tonight until we close. So there. Last movie tonight's 8 o'clock, so needless to say, I am getting off work early. So it's going to be a very short night. It's going to be about 6 hours, basically going to be nothing but box office, marquee, and doing the recording. Maybe building movies. It kind of depends on if Coleman's got it done or not. Anyway, at any rate, we have those two movies taken care of. They're going to be tacked on to the Friday reviews. You're going to get 6 movie reviews on Friday's video. On top of Saturday, which is going to be our final Oscar predictions before 2013 is over. And in essence, our final Oscar predictions period before the actual announcement of the Oscar nominations later next month. We're also going to be doing a Golden Globes prediction video very soon in the next couple weeks before the ceremony. And when the BAFTAs are announced, we're going to do the same thing as well, talking about our predictions for the BAFTAs. So we're going to start getting into award season. In a couple of weeks, we'll be officially on televised award shows. And it's weird that we're starting off with the Golden Globes this year. It's very bizarre that it's even before the Critics' Choice. So it's kind of throwing some things off a little bit. But luckily, we should, with any luck, have everything accomplished by the time that the Oscar nominations are announced. So here's what I'm thinking right now. We are holding back our 2013 Best of and Worst of because I want to be able to see, and AJ I'm sure wants to be able to see, her, Inside Llewyn Davis, and Nebraska all before we make our decision. I don't think August Osage County is going to be a big deal. If we miss that right away, Labor Day would be another one too, but I can't guarantee when we're going to see Labor Day. So I'd like to watch those 3 before we do our best of, just in case. So we're going to be doing a best of and worst of very, very soon. And you know, the rules are, if we have seen it in 2014 and it's still a 2013 movie, it still counts in 2013. And no movie coming out in January can be on this list. Movies come out in December can be on this list. Movies in January cannot. That means Amadea Christmas, I'm looking at you on that worst list. I don't know. It just depends. I haven't quite decided where I want to put it yet. It may end up on the list. It may be... It's terrible, but it may not be bad enough to be on the list compared to everything else I've got. I mean, it's not Identity Thief this year, so, I mean, that is the worst movie of the year as of this very moment, since I refuse to watch John Dies at the End. So, here's the thing. We got that taken care of, so we got that on the pike. A brand new Versus, a Versus we've been looking into for a long time. And this Versus is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And AJ and I came up with this idea, and it pretty much is hinged on if AJ gets the visual aid for tomorrow. If that is the case, it will be the Versus for this coming Sunday. And it is a battle that is going to be really awesome. So, looking forward to that. Statistics would probably be the cryptic comment here. So yeah, statistics, we'll go with that. If I come up with a better one, I might, but I mean, at least for this moment, we're going to do statistics. NXT and SmackDown video will come up in the coming week, as well as Impact, which of course is going to be tomorrow, not tomorrow, but Thursday. Can't remember what day it is. Now, the thing about it is I work at 6 on day after Christmas, so I'm not going to be able to do Impact live, but I will be able to get Impact to you guys out before the weekend's over, hopefully. Question mark, depending on what my schedule is. So, a lot of things to look forward to. We'll probably not return to Athens until 2014. It's okay, it's only a week. So, we've got a lot of things to look forward to. When we watched Dallas Buyers Club in Philomena yesterday, it did show trailers for Inside Llewyn Davis and Nebraska. So, Athens pretty much, they roll like they don't put a trailer on something unless they're an active chance to get it. So, we're got our fingers crossed. Very soon we'll have Nebraska and Inside Llewyn Davis. So that's going to be pretty awesome. Given the fact that obviously the first movie we ever watched at Athena Cinema was A Serious Man, which is a Coen Brothers film, just like Inside Llewyn Davis. So it would make total sense that would be the case. Now, I want to discuss a couple things real quick. And once again, since we haven't got a chance to shoot a video after the fact, this is the video. I will say I want to thank each and every one of you out there for getting us to over 200 subscribers and over 20,000 views here on Pop. It's been a little bit over a year, and we've got that awesome milestone. The next milestone we're looking at for 30,000, and then 40, 50, all the way up to 100,000 views. Hopefully, fingers crossed, before 2015. I'd like to get over 100,000 views by 2015. So that gives me a year in order to do that. So let's see if we can make that work, guys. Get over 100,000 views on this channel. And it'd be nice to get 500 subscribers and 100,000 views. That'd be amazing. Or maybe 1,000 subscribers and 100,000 views. That'd be even more incredible. But either way, I want to thank each and every one of you out there for watching videos, for continuing to view Pop, continuing to support the channel. So, like I said, 2014 is going to be not necessarily a rebuilding year for Pop, but we're getting the band back together. Will, Ben, and Molly all are committed to coming back. It's not that they disappeared, it's just that holidays, everything, school, all that stuff. Now, thankfully, we should be able to get some things going. If not, then they will give me content whenever they're able to, and obviously you'll get AJ and I on a semi-regular basis, actually on a regular basis. AJ on a regular basis, and myself on a regular basis, so there's always that. So, obviously, when it comes down to it, I'd really like to be home right now, given the fact that Comedy Warehouse opened on the 21st, the holiday special at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So, I want to shout out to all my awesome friends at Comedy Warehouse, and hopefully they all have great shows. I know they will, because they're all amazing and talented performers. And hopefully someday, Disney will get the hint and realize that Hollywood Studios needs to be the place to house Comedy Warehouse permanently. So hopefully they get a chance to realize that this year, and then next year, maybe, 2015, I would say that, well, 2 years technically, because it's not officially 2014 yet, but in a couple days it will be. I would say in 2015, hopefully we will see the return of Comedy Warehouse permanently to Hollywood Studios where it belongs. That being out of the way, let's talk a little Monday Night Raw. And you know, I'm starting to get really sick of these 3-hour Raws. There's a lot of filler, and I want to talk about it. So, first things first, what's best for business come out? Of course, they're all wearing Santa caps, and they got this lackey with them who pretty much is referred to as an elf. Kane is handing out candy canes. Yeah, I get the joke. And he walks up to a kid at ringside who definitely was a plant. And he sees him wearing a Daniel Bryan shirt. He takes the candy cane and he just tosses it into his chest. Like, basically pushes it back into his chest. So, basically what they do is they announce the matches for the night. And Randy Orton comes out to interrupt, and he wishes everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. He thanks Triple H for their support, even though he's the one who single-handedly beat John Cena at TLC. Yeah, that didn't happen. He's in a giving mood, so he's going to give what's best for business a gift, and the gift is himself as the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Champion. In the immortal words of the late, great George Carlin, if it's undisputed, then what's the fighting all about? So they hug, and Kane does the end of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Merry Christmas to all, good night. He accuses Pyro, and that's the end of the segment. Okay. So we get another match. It is another Divas Survivor Series style matchup. 12-woman tag match with the Total Divas without JoJo, who has seemed to completely disappeared off the face of the earth. She's not being shown on the show, and she's not wrestling, so maybe JoJo is going to get canned soon. Maybe she won't be so much of a factor, because now you have 6, and JoJo is the odd woman out since the fact that she would be the 7th, so that doesn't make much sense. They're facing off against the tandem of Tamina Snuka, Oksana, Alicia Fox, Caitlyn, Vicky Guerrero of all things, and my Summer Rae, so yeah. This was just a cluster from beginning to end. AJ is on commentary. She's wearing a Grinchmas shirt, which is pretty awesome, actually. So, let's try to dissect this as much as we can. Naomi with a snap Hurricane Rana on Alicia Fox, tagging to Cameron, and they have a double suplex, and the double split, and tagging to Brie. Brie comes in. Alicia Fox ends up nailing her with the Northern Light suplex 1-2 and a kick out. So, tagging to Vicky, and Vicky uses her reindeer horns to gore momentarily, tagging Oksana. Bridging roll-up, 1-2, and a kick-out. So, tagging a Natty, roll-up, 1 count only. So, a boot-in, elbow to the neck, DDT combo by Oksana. It looked nice, actually. 1-2, and a kick-out. So, everybody brawls, and Natty discus lariat, and that whips Brie into Oksana, and they join arms, and they basically just do they're arm-in-arm, the entire Total Divas roster, and they're just clotheslining everyone. Interesting. Ducks the clothesline, sharpshooter, Natty wins for Total Divas. Okay, whatevs. Could have been worse. Could have been great, but probably not. No comment on this match. Curtis Axel taking on Unakara, and this, of course, is the new Sin Cara, played by Unico. That's why I'm calling him Unakara now. He is talking. He's cutting promos now, which is really strange, given the fact that they've completely taken Mystico out of the entrance video, and now the close-up is on Unico, given the fact you can tell by his ginormous tattoo on his chest. So, or his shoulder, I guess, in this case. So, this match is just pretty short. Satellite Head Scissors takeover, and Sin Cara hits the ring apron when he gets dropped by Axel. He basically just pulls the leg, he sweeps him, and he nails the back on the apron. Shoulder block sends Sin Cara off the ring apron to the floor. And he picks him up in a body slam position and he rams him back first into the ring post. Tosses him back in and locks on a front face lock. So a grounded reverse gut wrench or reverse bear hug, depending on who's calling your match. Big drop kick, 1 count only. Sin Cara kicks out. And reverse bear hug again and again. Sin Cara elbows out. Tope con hilo midway through the match. Toss him back in. Springboard, flying body press, 1-2. Curtis Axel kicks out. Satellite head scissors takeover. Handspring back elbow, 1-2, and a kick out. Axel with a club to the back of the neck, 1-2, and that was Axel's last stand. He gets caught with a version of Justice Payne's Pain Thriller or a modified angle slam, depending on how you want to call it. I believe the terminology is a mountain bomb, if I remember correctly. And that's all she wrote. Sin-Ton bomb off the top, and Sin Cara wins. So, big win for Unakara. They're continuing to push him. I don't have a problem with this. I don't know. It could have been done a little bit better. So, we get our official announcement since the internet pretty much blew the spot. Actually, there was a live event that blew the spot that you're going to see the return of Dave Bautista to Raw on January 20th. So it's going to be nice to see Batista back, actually. And I was never a big Batista fan, but it's going to be interesting to see what he does in the new generation. I'm pretty sure right now, if I had to guess, I'm going to say he wins the Royal Rumble and faces Randy Orton in an Evolution battle at WrestleMania, which will bring Ric Flair out of the woodwork. And Flair will cost Randy Orton the win, and Batista will win the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Or that could be a nice false finish, and Randy Orton still wins. There you go. That's perfect. Randy Orton comes in, and Batista ends up getting screwed by Ric Flair, and Randy Orton retains the championship. Because Orton needs to be champion, I guess. Not really, but whatevs. So we get Wade Barrett on the street corner in Austin, and he is soliciting, like the Salvation Army, for donations. And we don't know exactly what he's getting donations for, but obviously we find out later on in the show. So, we get our main event of the first hour, and my god, what a main event it was. It is a 6-man tag team match that I called on the NXT and SmackDown video on Friday without knowing anything about the Raw showing that was taped last week, obviously. You're going to get the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper in 6-man tag team action against the WWE Tag Team Champions, the Brotherhood, Cody Rhodes and Goldust, as well as the MVP of the WWE, Daniel Bryan. So this match was awesome, and easily the best match on the show. So let's talk about midway through the match, shall we? So Rowan drops the elbow, and Cody makes a cover 1-2 and a kick out, locks in a front face lock, and he picks him up and he backs him into the corner. So, tagging to Luke Harper, and Harper charges in, gets an elbow in the corner, and goes for the gator roll. And the gator roll into the side headlock, Cody punches his way out, comes off the ropes, rebound lariat on Luke Harper, and tagging to Goldust. So, hits the clothesline off the ropes, and a running clothesline, and a drop down after the boot to the midsection into the uppercut, inverted atomic drop, and the boot to the side of the head off the ropes, goes up for the 10 punch, whip in, reverse, charges in, gets the boot up, and Goldust hits a middle rope Hurricane Rana. So he punches Rowan off the apron to prevent him from interfering, and he runs into a huge big boot from Luke Harper. Tagging to Bray Wyatt, he drops 2 quick elbows, and when he gets back up to his feet, nails the charging avalanche in the corner on Goldust. So he dips himself upside down in the corner and stares at Goldust, so creepily like he does. Tagging to Harper, and he's on the middle rope, and he elbows him in the back of the neck. So he misses the elbow, and he smartly knocks Cody and Bryan off the ring apron just so they can't make the tag. So tagging to Eric Rowan, he comes off the ropes, big splash on Goldust, 1-2, and Goldust kicks out. So Rowan goes for the neck twist, or the neck vice, depending on who's calling your match. And Goldust punches his way out, whip in, charges in, gets the boot up, and Rowan gets backs in the corner. He pounds away on Goldust, and he locks in the Iron Claw, and he beals him out of the corner with the Iron Claw. 1-2, Goldust again kicks out. So he tags into Luke Harper, whip in, he charges, and punching his way out of the corner. And he nails Luke Harper with Code Gold. Yes, he hits the Code Red on Luke Harper. It looks awesome. Not as athletic as a junior heavyweight doing it, but it still looks pretty effective, given the fact that Goldust is so big, and he's very agile for his weight and height. Makes total sense. Tagging Eric Rowan, hot tag Daniel Bryan, so ducks the clothesline, drop kicks Bray Wyatt off the ring apron just for good measure, obviously. So he drop holds Eric Rowan to the middle turnbuckle, and then he kicks the rope, which of course ricochets back into his face. So he kicks him in the hamstring repeatedly, and he misses the charge, does Rowan, and he gets the charging drop kick in the corner, not once, but twice from opposite corners. And he ducks the clothesline, drop kick to the knee, and then the yes kicks. He goes for the buzzsaw, he goes up top, and swan dive headbutt. Bray Wyatt comes in, and Bryan double legs him, starts pounding away. So he chases Bray around. They get back in the ring, but before they get back in the ring, Rowan mows Bryan over. We come back to live action from commercial, and reverse bear hug by Harper again. And Bryan elbows out of it, comes off the ropes, and he runs hard into Luke Harper. So he slingshots him to the middle rope like he likes to do on a regular basis, tagging to Bray Wyatt, falling headbutt, and a big right hand sends Bryan down when he's up to a vertical base. So falling headbutt again, and Harper with a slingshot senton as he's tagged into the ring, Eddie Guerrero style, on Bryan. 1-2, Bryan kicks out. So tagging to Eric Rowan, big scoop slam, and a sliding forearm Kind of like Masato Tanaka's Sliding D, actually, is exactly what it is. Or like a modified version of it. Neck Vice once again, and Bryan elbows out, charges it in, he gets the boot up, and a Tornado DDT from Daniel Bryan. Hot tag to Cody Rhodes, springboard missile dropkick, and that nails Luke Harper fresh on the beard. And the high Harley Race style knee lift, and into the corner, tip up sunset flip, 1-2, and a kick out. Boot in, drop down uppercut, beautiful disaster, nails Eric Rowan, knocks him off the apron, so Harper gets dropped to hold to the middle turnbuckle, standing moonsault, and Bray Wyatt makes a save before the 3 count is administered. So Bryan comes in with a missile dropkick of his own, sends Bray to the floor. Tope sends Bray into the barricade. So Rowan tosses Bryan hard into the barricade. Goldust with a somersault senton off the ring apron onto Eric Rowan. Harper charges in. Cody low bridges him, sending him over the top rope to the floor. Big right hand, because it stops him right there. Tagging to Bray Wyatt. He ducks the clothesline. Beautiful disaster on Harper, and he grabs Cody. Quick kiss. Sister Abigail. 1, 2, 3. The Wyatt family win this match. So after the match is over, Goldust gets in the ring to try to help up Cody. He ends up getting taken down by a discus lariat from Luke Harper. And this allows for Bryan to get sent hard into the ring steps, courtesy of Eric Rowan. They deposited him into their canvas, and they dragged Bryan in the middle of the ring to try to make him pay a little bit more. Bray says, I could have given you the world, and pretty much said it doesn't have to be like this. So that's the end of the segment right there. So, interesting. Excellent match. And if you watch anything on this show, check this match out. This 6-man is awesome. Once again, week after week, Goldust delivers. Since returning back to the company, Goldust has been on a tear. It's like he's found the fountain of youth, and he is in the best shape of his career right now, and he's putting on the best matches of his career now. He has got a very brand new rejuvenation, and I'm telling you right now, Goldust is going to be someone to watch in 2014. And when they split the Rhodes brothers up at the Royal Rumble, I think that it's going to be a great match between Cody and Goldust when they finally get on the grand stage of WrestleMania 30, which is what they've been trying to do for the last couple of years. So, Wade Barrett, of course, is still collecting donations like the Salvation Army and basically says, give generously and everything, and people are giving him tokens, so there you go. So that's really interesting to see where we go with this. You know, it's funny because for me, Wade Barrett's kind of giving out, like, soliciting donations, kind of like, since yesterday was Festivus after all, since I didn't get a chance to say anything to you guys. Happy Festivus to everyone. Trust me, the airing of grievances would have been awesome, and it would have been an amazing video, but I would have caused a lot of heat. So, the airing of grievances was done off camera, and don't worry, there were feats of strength, and I got pinned, so yeah, that's how Festivus ended. But anyway, that's how it's supposed to end. So because of Festivus, and making another Seinfeld reference, I would say that Wade Barrett is kind of doing a charity as George Costanza did when he was soliciting donations for the Human Fund. So that's pretty much what I thought of when I saw Wade Barrett panhandling Salvation Army style on the corner of Austin, Texas streets. So, our next segment is something I didn't really want to talk about, but whatevs. Christmas Carol sing-along. It's Truth and Consequences, obviously, Xavier Woods and R-Truth, and they sing Oh Holy Night. Xavier Woods has a brilliant voice. He's really good. And pretty much Truth is like his hype man, basically. He's like, yeah, he's like saying words in the background. So 3-man band, now 2-man band, because Heath Slater is off television for the foreseeable future to take care of some personal matters. I don't want to get into that, but I will say that Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre, they sang a very horrible version of Jingle Bells. With JBL got one of the lines of the night basically asking, was Jillian busy? As in Jillian Hall, of course. So she did this singing gimmick back in the day for WWE. So, part of, I believe if I remember correctly, she was part of JBL's cabinet with the Bashams and Orlando Jordan. So yeah, there's a nice little blast from the past. I didn't read off any teleprompter or any computer monitor. No, I remember that off the top of my head. So yeah, Jillian Hall actually gets referenced twice on the show. Kind of interesting. So the final group is Santino Marella and the Great Khali. Oh, goody gumdrops. So what happens? Well, they sing Deck the Halls, and Khali sings Fa La 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 La, and that's all he knows. And that's pretty much just Santino singing in really bad falsetto, but it's funny. And, of course, mercifully it's over with the fans picking Santino and Khali as the win. So, two-man band attack, and they get outnumbered, they get tossed to the floor, and the faces end up celebrating. We wish you a Merry Christmas, and yeah, the less said about this, the better. So, obviously I'm not talking about Bad Santa versus Good Santa, but I will bring it up slightly. So, Mark Henry starts off the show reading 'Twas the Night Before Christmas as 'Twas the Night Before Monday Night Raw, and he basically calls out reindeers like Bret the Hitman Hart, and I think it was Chief Jay Strongbow, or it might have been Tyson Tomko. I don't know. I couldn't really tell. It was kind of hard to hear him, honestly. And the final one was putting over Brian Christopher, Grandmaster Sexy, or Grandmeister, as what Mark Henry called him. Damien Sandow, of course, trying to be the Grinch here, and he sings of the Mountie and Classy Freddie Blassie and Erwin R. Shyster. So, basically, Mark Henry ends the recitation by saying, on our Christmas party, bad Santa may reign, but the world's strongest Santa's here to put him in the Hall of Pain. Sandow's retort is, that oaf is no match for my brains or my fitness. Tonight I'll defeat him and then cancel Christmas. Yes, I feel dumber for having said that. So, we get vignettes that are done midway through the show, and I'll talk about them now because I don't want to talk about them later. So, Mark Henry is flanked by Hornswoggle, the bane of my existence, and the Bella Twins, so that works fine. And Sandow is flanked by AJ and Tamina, which is interesting in its own right. So yeah, that's kind of cool. So yeah, that's the end of that, and I'm not going to talk about it. The less said about it, the better. So, because Fandango's been on quite a tear lately, thank you, I would say that he is getting into contention for a championship, and someone must have heard me because he faces off against Dolph Ziggler in a Christmas present on a pole match. Apparently it's not a holiday show unless you have something on a pole match, and of course it's a holiday pole, so it makes sense that it would be either in someone's house or at a barbershop. So, or technically, it could have been a painted version of the Festivus pole. That makes sense too. So, continuity is my word. Continuity be damned. So, there you go. Anyway, it is revealed by Justin Roberts that this match is for whatever is in the Christmas present. This Christmas present is a #1 contendership next week's Raw New Year's Eve celebration. So, that will be a very interesting show. And the winner of this match obviously will face off against Biggie Langston. It's Fandango against Dolph Ziggler, and Dolph just can't buy a break right now. This match would have been a little bit better if they didn't have to constantly try to climb up and grab the pole and they get pulled off, climb up, grab the pole, pulled off, you know, that old chestnut. So the match starts off and they both immediately go to climb and they pull each other off a couple of times. Whip-in, ducks the clothesline, standing dropkick on Fandango by Dolph Ziggler. So Dolph climbs up and he gets forearmed to the back by Fandango. And he pounds away, he gets back in the ring, whip-in, back elbow on Dolph. He basically mowed him over with the back elbow off the ropes and looked nice. Fandango climbed, Dolph kind of swatted him away, but he still got swatted away, but he still pulled Fandango off anyway. Boot in the midsection on Dolph, and a whip-in reverse, high-velocity whip into the corner, so Dolph climbs. He gets caught with a powerbomb. Powerbomb gets countered with punches to the top of the head, and he follows through with a sunset flip and nails him with a name dropper. Dolph climbs up, and he gets shoved into the pole by Fandango, and that sends him to the floor. So this momentum also carried Fandango over the top rope to the floor as well. So they're both on the floor at this point. Summer Rae helps Fandango in. They both climb up to the top rope, and Dolph with the right hand knocks Fandango back to the ring apron. Dolph climbs up. He's ascending. He's grabbing for whatever the present is, in this case the Intercontinental title shot. And what happens? He gets caught with the high kick from Fandango. And this allows for Fandango to climb over and use Dolph's body as like a ladder, and basically he's like on top of Dolph. He gets crushed on the top rope, and Dolph ends up getting sent face first into the post, and this allows him, momentum-wise, to carry him outside of the ring and go face first to the ring steps. Nice bump, actually, from Dolph there. So Fandango ascends the pole and grabs the present, and now he is the #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship, currently held by Biggie Langston. I said Fandango would be a champion before 2013 was over, and I called the Intercontinental Championship. Now the funny thing about this is, this Raw will be on December 30th, which means there is still a chance for my prediction from earlier this year to come true. What I think right now, we've got a brand new Intercontinental Champion. The Shield help Fandango win. And then if they want to, they can destroy him afterwards, honestly, if they really want to do that. But I say the Shield help Fandango win. He has the Intercontinental Championship. Big E Langston is the next person to go after Randy Orton. That's what I think will probably happen somewhere down the line. Because they're really wanting to push Big E Langston. And they really want to push Roman Reigns. So I think that would be a good idea. Be a good challenger for Orton in the meantime. So, and they've had some okay matches so far. So far so good. As I continue with my horrid notes. Tag team action peppers the rest of the show, and we get a match between Jimmy and Jey Uso against the Primetime Players. Once again, I hate the fact that Michael Cole does not consistently refer to them as Jimmy and Jey, so I never know who's who. So, we're just going to talk about them like I can here, I guess. So, before the match, Darren Young gets on the mic because he never gets any mic time. He basically calls Austin Houston. Interesting. So the fans kind of boom for that one. And Titus kind of rectifies everything and says, oh, we're in Austin. It's alright. He's been hit a couple times. Kind of slow. Don't worry about him. So, that aside, we go to the match. And Titus O'Neil with the fallaway slam. This time, instead of doing the back bump, or the no back bump like he normally does, what he does, he basically just tosses him to the side, like he's yesterday's garbage. Tagging to Darren Young, and he gets suplexed on top of the Uso for a near fall. Tag back into the opposite Uso, and whip in, and he puts on the brakes, catches them off the ropes with a modified spinning back elbow, 1 count only, D Young kicks out. So tag in again, cover 1 count only. So tag in, whip in, double whip, and Darren Young with the Northern Lights suplex, 1-2, and a kick out. Whip in, clothesline, rolling elbow, and tag in, rolls him up, 1-2, and that's it. So a Savate kick to the ribs, Samoan drop caught off the ropes, the running butt bump Rikishi style, and Titus makes the save. So low bridge sends Titus over the top rope to the floor, Savate kick on Darren Young, Samoan splash, 1, 2, 3, it's over. So after the match is over, they do the Millions of Dollars dance with the Primetime Players, and that's the end of the match. I could do more with this match, but I really couldn't tell who was in the ring half the time. Sorry, so just can't help it. I really wish I had a reason, a way to determine them alike. I know there's the tattoo on one, but I never remember which one it is. So yeah, I hate tag matches in WWE because of this fact. I hate Los Matadores for that reason. We're going to hear about them in a minute. We got our Santa battle between Mark Henry and Damian Sandow, and it's basically a hardcore match. So there's presents in the ring, and they can be used. The first present that's revealed is a toilet. Toilet with actually no water in it, obviously, and you can tell when it gets knocked over. So Mark Henry puts Sandow's face into the toilet, and of course there's no water. So it's a swirly without any water, I guess. Sandow picks up a fire extinguisher, he doesn't pull the pin, so Mark Henry turns around on him and blasts Sandow in the face with the burst. And they chase up the ramp, a boot in, and he grabs a Singapore cane that is painted up like a candy cane. He basically nails him in the back. So Mark Henry ends up turning it around on Sandow and breaking the cane over his back, over his knee. So basically, he tosses Sandow down the ramp. He just rolled down the whole length of the ramp. Big clothesline on Sandow, sending him into a Christmas tree, which knocks over the tree, obviously, tosses him in, and Sandow can't get the fire extinguisher to work. Mark Henry blasts him yet again. World's Strongest Slam, 1, 2, 3. After the match is over, he pulls out Jingle Bells, and then he pulls out cupcakes, and he slams the cupcakes into the face of Sandow. The less said about this, the better. So, we get the Real Americans against Los Matadores next. Swagger and Cesaro sporting awesome ring jackets that say Big with 2 G's, Hoss and Tony on them. So, Big Hoss and Tony are the Real Americans. I like that. That's awesome. Of course, Zeb puts over another promo about calling Santa Claus an illegal immigrant, like he did on SmackDown. So, that's referenced. So, we go to the match, and a Swiss uppercut, and whip in, catches the shoulder, and a powerbomb caught into a Hurricane Rana on Fernando. The Rana is caught this time, and giant swing on Fernando, and pull Twin Magic. He trades places with Diego. Diego comes in, he gets tossed in by Cesaro. Cesaro gets rolled up inside Cradle, 1 count only. Swagger makes the save. So tagging to Swagger, double whip, and a double satellite head scissors takeover of sorts. He got Cesaro, he basically kind of arm dragged Swagger down. Tagging to Fernando, somersault senton, 1-2, and a kick out, and handstand into a satellite head scissors takeover. So he does like the Escalade slide, and he goes up top. Cesaro tag in. Diego is sent hard in the barricade. El Torito gores Cesaro on the floor. Flying body press off the top by Fernando onto Jack Swagger. 1, 2, 3. A lot going on in this match, and again, it's okay for what it was. Still like tag team action, but I wish there was a way to determine which one's Fernando and which one's Diego. I know I could tell Primo and I know I could tell Primo and Epico apart, but I can't really see their face very much in their matches. So I'm just, basically most of the time I'm just kind of sitting here trying to write down the matches. So I mean, that's pretty much what happens in these recaps. That's the reason why they're so disjointed sometimes. So let's talk about our semi-main. It's Ryback and Kofi Kingston. Kofi sporting Zubaz from the Rainforest Cafe. Yes, that's exactly what it reminds me of. I really wish I had a... I wish I was at the Rainforest Cafe right now every time I see Kofi Kingston, because his gear reminds me of it now. Ryback, of course, off a new tag team, the Nexus Relocation Program with Curtis Axel. But he's in singles action against Kofi in this match, so he needs to redeem himself. Kofi's been losing a lot lately, so it'll be interesting to see, unless you face The Miz. Kofi's been losing out lately, so who knows what's going to happen in this match. Kind of a thrown-together match. Kofi with a diving forearm, drop kick off the ropes. Ryback goes to the floor smartly. So he jaws with Charles Robinson, who's the ref, of course. He gets drop kicked off the ring apron. Tope con hilo on Ryback by Kofi. And he tosses him back in. Clothesline over the top rope to the floor by Ryback. Pretty much stops the momentum Kofi had going in. So he tosses him back in. High velocity whip on Kofi. And whips him into a bear hug on Kofi. So Kofi elbows his way out. Comes off the ropes. Crossbody gets caught into a hanging vertical suplex by Ryback. 1, 2, and a kick out. Middle rope falling splash. Finds nothing but both boots in the face by Kofi Kingston. Charges in, gets the elbow up, and a whip in. Ryback caught with a 180 missile drop kick off the middle turnbuckle. 1, 2, and a kick out. So 2 stiff kicks off the ropes. He hits the third one and goes for the boom drop. He nails it. Trouble in Paradise, and he sets up for it. And of course, he charges in. He does that leaping splat, that leaping 10 punch he likes to do when he lands in between the ropes, and he flips out. He goes for a big splash, misses. Kofi with a springboard flying body press, 1, 2, Ryback kicks out. So Ryback picks him up, drops him face first on the top turnbuckle, and meat hook, shell shock in the match. Okay. It was alright. Wade Barrett, of course, once again delivering his bad news, the fact that he's been raising over $1,000 all day, at least thousands of dollars all day, and what happens, he basically says he's not affiliated with any charity, and the bad news is that all the money is now going to him. There's going to be quite a Christmas at the Barrett household. The money is all mine. Unlike most people in the world, I actually don't mind Wade Barrett's new gimmick. Anything gets him on television at this point makes me happy. I hope they do something with him wrestling-wise soon. Barrett's such a lost opportunity, it's not even funny. Main event time. The Shield. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and the United States Champion Dean Ambrose taking on the super team of John Cena, CM Punk, and Intercontinental Champion Biggie Langston. Before this, I will talk about 2 promos. Number 1, Punk and Cena have really great chemistry, and Biggie Langston works really well with them. They pretty much said that Seth Rollins needs an attitude adjustment, and Dean Ambrose must really haven't had a nap in quite a while because he needs to go to sleep. And basically on top of that, that's pretty much the end. Roman Reigns wants his teeth punched down his throat, and Cena's calling Punk Punker, which the only people who do that is Colt Cabana. So, or Chris Hero, depending on who you're talking to. Anyone from that Ring of Honor or Chicago or IWA Mid-South group would call him Punker in this case. So Cena basically cuts a Hogan promo is what it is. And it ends with Believe in That with the fists extended. Looked awesome. It was awesome. Shield, of course, cut a rhetorical promo back at Cena, Punk, and Biggie Langston, and of course it ends with Roman Reigns saying, believe in that, believe in the Shield. So we get our main event now, the Shield against Punk, Cena, and Biggie Langston. Of course, this is great for Biggie Langston given the fact that he got to make the save before, and that's what led to this match right here. So Cena and Punk were getting beaten down, and because, of course, Daniel Bryan got taken out with the Wyatt family early on SmackDown Friday night. And what happens after that? You have Biggie Langston come down when all hope was lost, and and Punk were about ready to both eat triple powerbomb. Cena did, Punk didn't. So what happens is the Shield come out. Well, the Shield are stopped by Biggie Langston, so yeah, there's always that. Let's start with this main event, shall we? Another great match on the show. We come back to live action from the first commercial break of this match, and whip in, reverse, and a back elbow by Seth Rollins. He nails a flying guillotine off the middle turnbuckle, or bluff blockbuster, depending on who's calling your match. 2 count only. I guess it'd be more of a buff blockbuster, given the fact it was off the middle rope and the flying guillotine's off the top rope. It was a Chaos move, if you guys don't remember Chaos from XPW or Wrestling Society X. Yeah, it's something that doesn't come up very often, right? Hurricane used to do it off the middle rope or the top rope, too. So, tagging to Dean Ambrose, he comes in with Muta's power drive elbow, 1-2, and a kick out. Comes off the ropes, Ambrose locks on a sleeper, and then jumps up on Cena's back and puts the sleeper on once again. So, tagging to Punk, Punk comes in, ducks the clothesline, high leg lariat, and the tope into the barricade, toss it back in, spinning neck breaker on Ambrose, the running knee, the short arm clothesline, instead of the savage elbow, he goes up top, Seth Rollins gets on the apron and distracts him. This allows Dean Ambrose to knock him off the ring apron. So, they're both on the floor, Ambrose with a snap suplex on Punk on the floor, toss him back in the ring, and 1 count, 2 count, and there's the kick out. So, Rollins tagged in, and he pounds away, high velocity whip on Punk, and the battle of the former Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champions, obviously. Whip in reverse, and he goes upside down Flair style, but he comes off and tagging to Ambrose. Obviously, Seth had to get the heck out of the ring at this point. Front face lock on Punk, and he backed into the corner, tagging to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns comes off. Punk comes off the ropes, and he gets caught in midair with a bear hug. So Punk elbows his way out with not the side elbows, like the reigning elbows, like the overhand elbows, basically. Lifts him up, belly to belly, 1-2, Punk kicks out. So a leaping elbow, 1-2, again, Punk kicks out. Tagging to Seth Rollins, body scissors, and Punk elbows his way out. Ducks the clothesline, Punk catches him with a backdrop suplex. So Ambrose knocks Cena off after he makes the tag. Reigns with a leaping clothesline on Cena on the floor to try to take him out of the match momentarily. High kick on Ambrose by Punk, and that's pretty much taking Ambrose out of the action. Tagging to Roman Reigns. Roman cuts off Punk, and he goes for a charging splash in the corner. Misses. Tagging to Biggie Langston. Tagging to Seth Rollins. The battle of the first 2 ever NXT champions commences. Tagging to Seth Rollins. And when Rollins comes in, he gets nailed with a shoulder block and a big clothesline on Seth. Clotheslines Roman Reigns over the top rope to the floor. Belly to belly on Rollins. And Ambrose comes up top. He gets launched off rocket launcher style onto Seth Rollins. So a big splash on both members of the Shield. He drops the straps and a tag into Dean Ambrose. Actually no. He drops the straps and he goes for the big ending on Rollins. He gets pulled off. Ambrose climbs in, gets the nail with the big ending. And what happens on this? 1, 2, and at the last possible second, the Shield nail the attack, and that's the disqualification. I don't know why Cena did not get DQ'd for the attack, but whatever, DQ, and that's how the match ends. So they set up the triple powerbomb on Biggie Langston. Punk pulls him out of the ring, and this allows for a double clothesline. The AA and the Go to Sleep on opposite sides, and the faces stand tall with all 3 themes playing to end the holiday edition of Raw. Yeah, it was a thrown together show, but it was okay. I mean, 2 great 6-man tag team matches make this worth watching. Interesting to see where they go. Continuity aside, I would say that this show's okay. I mean, it wasn't great, but then again, it was a holiday show, so theme shows don't really work very well unless you have something important to go with. And I'm not saying that the Christmas season isn't important, but for a wrestling show, maybe not so much. So yeah, the show is okay for what it was. Nothing great, nothing terrible. If you can check out anything, check out the 6-man tag matches. They're both awesome. And interesting to see what happens next week when Fandango gets an Intercontinental title shot against Biggie Langston. So, like I said, I think the Shield interfere to continue their storyline with Biggie Langston. They cause Langston to lose the Intercontinental Championship. And then that would force Big E to go after Dean Ambrose in the U.S. Championship. There we go. And that's what I think will probably end up happening. And Ambrose loses the title to Big E Langston. And eventually, when he drops the championship, he can start going into the upper mid card into the main event somewhere down the road. So there's always that. That was Raw. So yeah, it was okay. In the meantime, I have to go to work in about 2 hours. So if you like these videos, tell your friends about them. Leave a comment. Do subscribe. Help spread the word. If you want to do 4 simple ways to get a hold of us and show your support for Pop, you can do it via liking our Facebook fan page. It's Suro and Disney Pop. You can send me a friend request on Facebook. I'll most likely accept. It's Owen Disney. If you want to tweet me, it's at Suro and Disney. Or if you want to send your thoughts, comments, queries, and opinions, things you want to see on Pop, things you like about this channel, things you don't like about this channel, send anything you want to my email, suroanddisney@gmail.com. So I'm going to go to work, and I'm going to enjoy the fact that for 6 hours, it shouldn't be that busy. So I will reap the benefits of Christmas pay tomorrow, and the Wolf of Wall Street finally 6 o'clock tomorrow night. And we're going to be watching Grudge Match afterwards. 47 Ronin, Secret Life of Walter Mitty, and a 6 to 11 shift on day after Christmas. And then on Friday, we've got AJ's movie reviews. I'm talking about the movies that I just mentioned, as well as Philomena and Dallas Buyers Club. Saturday is going to be the final Oscar prediction video from AJ and myself of 2013, and the final one overall until we actually get to the real nominations. So stay tuned to that. And this Sunday, brand new verses. Looking forward to this one, and going to be a lot of really awesome stuff coming to Pop in 2014. Mark my words. In the meantime, thank you guys and girls out there for watching. I'm going to go ahead and get me some scalloped potatoes my mom just made. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.